When disaster strikes, it's often our four-legged friends who suffer the biggest consequences. As capable as they are, they're defenseless if they're abandoned by their owners or if they get lost in the shuffle during an emergency. That's just what happened to one little dog in Houston, Texas, in 2016. Found by Sheriff Troy Nehus and the crew from a local television station, this little pup was fighting for her life. The crew knew that they were the struggling pooch's last hope of survival. But would they be too late? During natural disasters such as earthquakes and floods, animals can suffer the biggest consequences. They're simply not equipped to handle an escape without the assistance of a person. That's exactly what one 2-year-old border collie mix discovered during a terrible flood in Texas in 2016. A sheriff and his crew came across her. She had been chained to a porch and abandoned, and they knew it was up to them to save her life. Rain had been falling non-stop in Richmond, Texas, and the Brazos River rose to levels that hadn't been seen in over 100 years. Everyone who lived in the immediate area was told to evacuate their homes. It was just too dangerous to stay. Sheriff Troy Nehus and his crew had been driving around in a small boat looking for stranded people to help. They slowly made their way through flooded neighborhood streets when they saw the head of a dog peeking out from the deep water. The crew called out to the dog over and over again, but it didn't seem like she could hear their voices. Finally, as the men approached in their boat, she turned her head and looked directly at them. It was clear that something was keeping her from swimming toward them. The crew pulled up their boat as close as possible to the terrified animal. Two of the men stepped out into the waist-deep water and carefully approached her. As scared as the dog seemed, she must have been incredibly relieved to see them. As it turned out, the poor dog had been chained to her family's front porch, and then abandoned. The crew quickly freed her and brought her to safety in their boat. She'd be taken to the Houston Humane Society, which renamed her Archer, to await adoption to live with the new family. However, there was a bit of a surprise for this pooch. Sheriff Troy Nehus and his family were so taken with the dog that they decided to adopt her themselves. Archer was clearly traumatized by the entire ordeal, but once she was brought into the sheriff's home and given a bath and some much-needed snuggles, she was definitely in better spirits. Just look at that grateful smile. Archer was so popular that the local news even did a story about her dramatic rescue. Unfortunately, not every animal was as lucky as Archer during the flood, but the sheriff and his crew were thrilled they were able to save this adorable dog. Now, Archer's living a great life with a family who wants nothing more than to give her the care and attention she deserves. Hopefully, she'll never have to go through another experience like this again. It's so great to know there are people who will actually venture into disastrous areas searching for signs of life. Animals often need more help than others, and these men were relieved they found Archer before it was too late. Watch the video below of the entire rescue.